Okay, hello guys, this is Legacy here, and today I will show you my Captain Marvel ultimate build video, PvP and PvE hybrid. So first off, let me show you what my account looks like. I apologize for any delays because I'm recording this from a phone. But yeah, okay, so for my costume set, I've decided to run with Xander, but the best costume set you could either use Midgard or Dark Domain, but Xander works alright. This is my headpiece, chest piece, my gloves, and her boots. Yeah, I got some decent rolls on there. It's nothing too special, but it works. My badges, see a lot of crit rate. For cores, I focus on green and reds. I try to get as much crit damage and crit rate possible to hit the cap. This is the second one, third one, this is the fourth one, fifth. I got a triple ultimate god recovery. That stat is very important, but we'll talk about that a little later. And my last one. Okay, so my stats, and this is the PvP builds. I forgot to mention this. I'm showing you the PvP build first, and then I will show you the PvE. Okay, so my stats, I have 147 ultimate god recovery. You need at least 150 to be viable in PvP. 160 is the sweet spot. Yeah, my accuracy is a bit low, but I still land a couple hits against Spider-Mans. But you need at least, I would say, if you could get close to maybe 175, you should be good. But yeah, I'm rocking 145 at the moment. My dodge rate, I don't really slot any dodge rate cores, so it's 37. My critical rate is 75%. I max that out. It works with magic in all game modes if you max your critical rate. But 50% is sufficient. My crit damage is 233%. Crit damage decrease 40%. Anything above 50% for your crit damage decrease will help you, especially against Black Widows, because they get that 50% additional crit damage from their specializations. Now defense pierce, the most important offensive stat for PvP, I capped it at 75%. Everything else is pretty basic, and then we go down to the PvP stats. So my PvP up is 45% and my PvP down is 61%. What you guys need is at least 50 for your PvP up, and you want to max the PvP down to 75%. Yeah, and that's basically it for my stats for my PvP build. So moving on, we go down to the skills. The skills I run, I'm not saying these are the best skills to run, but this works. I've done multiple tests and collected information from other Captain Marvels on the server, and these skills seem to work the best. You want to use Mighty Flight, and you can see the +6 on my light speed skills because of my Xander original costume is being boosted by +6 to all of them. So you get a little chunk of extra damage. Next skill is Energy Impact. Photon Flight faster. This skill is very good because it's an iframe. A lot of people don't know this, but I will share this. If someone, let's say for example a Black Widow, is hitting you with the teleporting iframe skill, you can cancel out her iframe by using your iframe. There's only one variable to consider, is a ping. If your ping is not as good as your opponent's, this technique might not work, but in most cases you can hit one dodge on iframe and you can use your iframe to cancel out your opponent's iframe. Now moving on, photon blast, photon focus. It's your big damage skill. The only problem with this skill is that it takes forever to charge up. So when you're facing Black Widows one-on-one, never use this skill unless they're knocked down from your ultimate, because it's a double-edged sword using this skill basically. But I have a combo in which I use, all credit goes to Whistling Death for this combo. It's called the ice cream sandwich combo. If you can activate this combo efficiently, then you could get your beam off without no problems whatsoever. The next up skill is Photon Buster. The nickname I gave this one is Hit Seeking Missiles. This skill right there is one of your best skills in PvP especially. And that's it for the PvP skill. So moving on, my Omega cards. Okay. So what I run for my build, I run the accuracy card. See, I have accuracy, PvP up, PvP down. I run the Vote Loki card with critical damage, defense pierce, PvP down. I got real lucky on this card. I actually got this card for free, and I roll a decent roll on it. My attack card, you can see I have attack, total damage, defense pierce. And then the Red Skull card with crit damage, PvP up, and defense pierce. And then the last card I use is attack with double defense pierce. All this helps in the combination of capping my defense pierce. The main one, I use this card specifically because of the set bonus. So because it's mid-guard, I get an additional 8% critical damage from this card. And where's the other one? And this one. Yes. And then for these two cards, I get an additional 2% attack with the Red Skull cards, some attack and crit damage. So I run 2 attack cards, 2 critical damage cards, a Captain Marvel card, and an accuracy card. Now my potential, I have everything at almost max except for one, which is irrelevant. It's this one that gives you guard damage decrease. If you have the extra resources and you just want to complete everything like you're a completionist, you could go ahead and put your points in it, but it's not necessary. But yeah, I capped all of these. This one's maxed and this one's maxed. Yeah, moving on. Well, I already talked about the cores. I run reds and greens only reds and greens. That's it. And the last part, the specializations. Okay, well, the one before the last, I'll show my companions last. So what I run, this is the hybrid part. Different Captain Marvels try different things, but what I find works best for me is I like to use this one, because this one, it increases the duration of all your buffs, including when you use your ultimate. It prolongs the duration of your ultimate, and when you up, it gives you, okay, when you use your ultimate, you get an increase to your attack and debuff immunity. So by using this spec, it synergizes with your ultimate buff. It makes you immune to debuffs like Spider-Man web debuffs, Black Widow debuffs, and Storm debuffs, Star-Lord, even the Iron Man burn debuffs, to give you a greater defense against those abilities. Next, this one is very important, especially for PvP. Decrease the cooldown of all your light speed skills. It synergizes with this spec, the dodge, recover, dodge, gauge. So I have it maxed at 40%. So every time you use one light speed skill, you gain a dodge bar and an additional piece. So it's like you get like 1.5 1.4% of your dodge bar. So use this one in conjunction with this spec. So when you refill your dodge, and by using this spec, it allows you to reduce the cooldown of your light speed skills. So they have great synergy together. The last one I use is Photon Energy Enhancement. Gives you a damage buff for about 6 seconds. Pretty all around. Now you could get by using, I'm working on this one at the moment. You could use this one, Binary Power, instead of Battle Skill Photon Field Enhancement. Either one works fine. I just prefer this one at the moment. But if you have enough attack, you could probably remove this one as well for that one. This spec is okay. It gives you like a second life. But I used to use it at the start, but I find out there's so much, I do so much better without it, so I don't use it anymore. And that's it for the specializations. So I have all of them at level 10 max. It took me a while, but I finally did it. And lastly is my companions. Okay. So I got lucky. My favorite companion I use is Icarus. It's level 30 and the skill is at level 7 out of 8. And then I also have Gigamesh. Gigamesh is alright, he has the stun. But I just find out what Icarus does with his skill. He just does so much damage. It's like having a 7 skill to your character. And then I have Cersei and Vision. But Icarus just works best. Now for the PVE part. Let me switch my cards. Show you guys what I run for my PVE setup. They really need to add the update so we don't have to keep unequipping and re-equipping cards. Just one switch to switch our loadouts. Okay. So my cards. First up, I'm using. I have max super villain damage, but let me just show you the cards and then I'll show you the stats. Crit damage, super villain damage. Crit damage, more super villain damage. Crit damage, super villain damage. Attack, total super villain damage. Crit damage times 2 super villain damage, and the last one is attack, max damage rate, and super villain damage. So I run 2 attack cards and 4 crit damage cards. That's the stat you want to focus on for your PVE. Let me just go right here. You want to cap your crit damage as high as possible and your super villain damage. This is muy importante for PVE, especially versus those big bosses like during raids, during dark zone, and those sorts of stuff. So super villain damage 75%, my crit rate is 75, crit damage is 285, accuracy 125. You don't need that much. Anything over 120 is good. Ultimate Gorge the same, 147. You need this at least 160 to be good. And this is my attack for the PVE build. I run the same costumes. I do have a second set of Midgardia. Let me just show you. I'm slowly trying to work on 6-star in this set. It's gonna be for the future when I get enough resources. Yeah, so I have this. This is the best set all-rounder for both PvP and PvE, but you could get around with whatever you have because the stats are more important than the gear. Okay. Let's see. Alexander. Okay. And I run the same badges for PVE, same badges. Just giving you one quick look so you could see what you have to focus on. For skills, let me show you what skills I use now for my PVE. Okay, so the first skill I use is the energy impact. Refills your ultimate gauge bar by at least 45%. That's how much you get. It's about 50%. You could charge up by using 2 of those in your rotation. Next up is the iframe. You don't have to use this one, but because of the +6 I run it. Photon blast, photon energy. This one does massive AoE damage, and it's like a DOT, so you just cast it and you could hit dodge to cancel out of it, like animation cancelling. And I ran the hit seeking missiles. Now what I use for AFK farming overnight, I'll just show you quickly. And I like to find shoutouts to Skeleton Fish. He shared this one to me and I find it works out very well. Okay, so photon charge, energy impact, photon blast wave, photon energy, and photon buster. You could use this skill if you want, the spirit bomb, but it's just so slow and the AoE radius is just too small. Maybe if they gave it a buff and double the area range, then this skill would be the best. But for now we just stick to this one. For PvE, my specializations stay the same. One thing you could do if you want, just simply remove this for PvE, remove this one and use this one. So remove dodge gauge and use this for PvE. But this build is a hybrid build. I don't swap out my specs. I just run this for everything, and it works out alright. Companions. Okay. Icarus works well in both PvP and PvE. Some people run Cersei because she has that decreased defense skill, but my Icarus' skill is almost max level for 3 stars, and he just does a whole heap of damage. So I run him in both PvP and PvE. It's a personal preference. This is, I have all of them, but some are 1 star, 2 star, and 3 star. That about wraps it up for my Captain Marvel PvP PvE build. I hope you guys enjoy. Leave a like and subscribe, and leave your comments of any input or any questions. This is Legacy, and have a nice day.